Hello, it's Kylie Bertucci here, Stamping Up demonstrator in Australia. Thank you very much for joining me. You may be coming live in a moment or watching the recording, but either way, thank you very much for your continued support. It's nice to be back in 2017 with some new tips and tricks and things that I've learnt to help my Stamping Up business, and basically helped me to get to number 8 in the world and number 1 in Australia. So I've got a lot to share with you, and happy to answer questions or anything that you have found challenging with setting up a direct selling business. But particularly with Stamping Up, I think, I probably have a lot to say in regards to Stamping Up because it's what I live and breathe every day. So recently, Bruno and I moved house, as many of you know. And it was quite specific that I made that public knowledge. Hello, Angela. Lovely to see you here again. The reason why I made the move public knowledge was mainly so that people could be a little bit more understanding towards me with my business. And it just gave me a little bit more mental freedom, because I knew that people knew that we were moving. People know that it's one of the most stressful things that you can do in your life is move. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Annette. Great to have you here. So I knew by letting other people know, particularly my customers and my team, hi, Debbie, that would help them to be more understanding if I sort of dropped the bundle and didn't perform the way that I normally do, or I didn't have the time that I normally have. And it really worked well, because basically we all have limits. We all have to set boundaries for ourselves so that we do have time for the important things that need to get done. And the best thing was, by setting those boundaries, it actually enabled me to feel more free and less obligated as well, which gave me more time to get everything set up a lot quicker. Hello, Vicky. Nice to see you here. So it was really good from that aspect. I think that if I had taken on too much, then I would have been spread out way too thinly, and just feeling like I needed to keep all the balls, juggling. So one of the things that I had to learn, I did have a goal of starting up a December class, an online class in December. And, it just made me realize, you just can't do it all. So I actually didn't do a December online class for that reason, because it's like if I do the class, then something else is going to suffer, or something else is going to, it's just going to create more stress, and it's just not worth it. Hey, Linda, thanks for joining me. So I think, it really has taught me what to say yes to. And, this is in life in general, particularly with our Stamping Up businesses. For those that have families, it can be really challenging to know our limits and to know, when is it time to develop our business, and when is it time to have family time. And so it's really important to communicate that well with the family too. So I was really open with Bruno. He basically knew that we wanted to move into the house and be set up before celebration started, which is tomorrow here in Australia. And so our actual move was based on celebration, which is pretty cool. And, it's great to have his support in that. So that made it a whole lot easier, because it wasn't like I was trying to secretly find time to go and blog, or secretly get on Facebook and talk to my team. Bruno knew that I still am running a business, and it's important to me, and it's important that I keep in touch with my customers. So that's really the key sort of area that has really helped me with communication with him. And, Bruno takes it seriously too. He knows that this is my business, and he knows that it's supporting us as a family. And so, yes, I know it's all set up. So it's really good to have it all ready and going. And that was the goal, to have it all ready and set up before the 4th of January, so that I wasn't stressing about my environment, and I could get creating straight away and get blogging straight away. And that has been really, really helpful. So, I missed a few blog posts here and there, but it actually was really nice, And it was just something that I thought of as we were moving, that I would actually document the move, because, you know, it's a nice way to sort of keep my audience and demonstrators and customers connected with what's happening with us. And also it meant that, you know, for me, it's a great little visual journal. I took pictures that I probably normally wouldn't take. And that was really nice because I knew I needed pictures from my blog the next day. And so it's been really nice during a very, very stressful time. It's been nice to be able to enjoy certain moments of the move and be able to see the progress that we made in such a short period of time. And, you know, Bruno was just incredible. He did such an amazing job, and we had a few friends come and help. But it was nice to sort of space it out over a week and, you know, take our time. And at times it was difficult, but we also had a lot of fun while we moved. So a lot of nights we had Bruno's family come the first night with champagne and really enjoy it. And we still didn't change. Oh, no worries, Ellen, you can catch up on the video. But yeah, we tried to keep our same routine as much as we possibly can. So we attend meetings as well, like our church. We're both Jehovah's Witnesses, so we didn't miss any of our meetings. We're also learning Hindi at the moment, and we didn't miss our classes for that. We just tried as much as we could to just keep our normal routine. And surprisingly, you think that by doing that, it adds more stress, but it was actually nice to just not be completely absorbed in the move, but also enjoy the moment as well, and to be in the moment and realize that you can actually have fun despite how much work you know you have ahead. It's like, you know, just switch off for a moment. And I think we were more productive because of it, strangely enough, even though we were really tired and we had some late nights and we had friends coming over. It just sort of, for me in particular anyway, it sort of reinvigorated me for the next day, and it made the whole thing more exciting rather than just one big chore. I'm no good if I think that work is not fun. So my main goal this week was to make it fun. And, you know, we can do that in our Stampin' Up businesses. There's certain aspects of our business that is not fun, but try and find a way to enjoy that process, or find the right people to help you with that task, or maybe do that task first. You know, that could be the first thing. So when I got overwhelmed, one thing that I really learnt during the move, and, you know, this can be something that I need to adapt in my everyday life as well, but I needed to realize that I needed to ask for help. And so there was one stage where I was sitting in my craft room and I was just so overwhelmed because there was a lot of sorting. I didn't want to keep things that I didn't need to keep anymore. And some things are really difficult to say goodbye to, especially if you're like, oh, do I give this one away or do I not? And it's, you know, it's really difficult because anything to do with our craft is precious. So there were certain hard decisions that I had to make with some of my projects that I've made that are old and, you know, can't be used. And some I gave as gifts, but some I did have to actually get rid of. And it was really sad, but it also was a really good fresh start as well. So it's something that, yes, all organised, Cheryl. So it's something that I actually have learnt from, because I had an entire garage and now I'm in a small room. So it meant going through a lot of the items that I had and starting from scratch. And it actually was a really cathartic, really good experience to go through in the craft room. And I think that I'm going to be a lot more creative now that I don't have as much clutter and as much things that I've collected. I've got a whole section of where I want to sell all my retired products or give them away. So that's probably one of the number one jobs that I've got when things slow down a little bit in February maybe. Hey Michelle, good to see you. So yes, so I think it's definitely taught me that one, I need to ask for help more often. And so when I sat on the floor and I had everything around me, hey Nadi, good to see you, Naomi. Yeah, I had everything on the floor and I was so overwhelmed, and I just don't know where to start when it's sort of like that. I don't know how to begin to sort through things. And Bruno's really good like that. So I just called Bruno in, and he was really good. You know, he sort of looked at things and put them into piles and separated things. And it was just, you know, bit by bit, slowly, we just worked through everything and worked out, you know, where would be a good spot for it. And, you know, now that everything's in, it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to tweak this and I'm tweak that. But it's not as big a deal as what it was in the beginning. It doesn't mean that once you found a place that you're locked in and it's going to stay that way. Once I use the room and work in the room, I'm noticing a few things that I'm going to change. But it's just small little tweaks as I go along rather than the whole room to actually sort out. So it's been a really, really great process for me from a business perspective and from just a personal perspective, you know, knowing my limits and understanding that it's okay to sort of drop the bundle a little bit, but still keep your momentum and work within your limits. So there was one morning where I was like, I really want to do something about the move, but I do want to include something to do with creativity. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to use the new celebration kit. And so Bruno was great. You know, he's looking at me like, are you kidding me? You're going to create and we're going to go move. But he's like, okay, I'm just going to go. You know, so he's like, before I lose the plot, I'm going to drive away. But it literally happened so quickly, this kit. And it was brilliant. I took a photo on the floor of my new craft room. You know, I kept it really simple. I didn't use watermarks. I didn't use Pinterest. I just kept the whole blog post really simple. But it was better than doing nothing at all. And, you know, the people that helped us out absolutely loved their cards. So I felt really great that, you know, not only did it help me to create, not only did it showcase a new product, but then the people who helped us were just like really surprised that during a move, I was able to give them a card to say thank you. Because I think if I don't do it like at that time, it probably wouldn't have happened. So it was really nice to be able to do that and sort of document things. And then the best thing is I had some things like set up ready to go. So the international highlights, you know, perfect because I'm sort of holding the event. However, I didn't have to create for the event. I just had to do the blog post. So there were certain things, my team highlights, you know, again, I host the event, but I'm not having to create the event. So you can have certain blog posts that don't necessarily require you having to make something, but it's still keeping you active on your blog and it's giving your customers something to look for and to look at. Facebook Live is fantastic as well because you can just take some video on the run. Like I did one for my VIP group the other night as we were on the way to a dinner. So it was just, you know, something in between just to say, hey, how is everyone? Remember, you know, the occasions catalogue starting in just a couple of days. And, you know, it's just so perfect to be able to do that. I actually could have got stuck in the idea that we don't have internet here in the new house. We don't have Wi-Fi. And that was going to be a bit of a stress for me. But I thought, no, I'll just ring my phone plan and, you know, maybe I'll have to pay a little bit more for a couple of months. But, you know, we'll find a way to get more data. And so I rang my phone company and I've been paying $70 a month and getting 3 gig of data. So I rang them and said, look, you know, what would be the next plan to get more gig? And they said, well, we can do a $60 plan, so $10 less, and give you 11 megabytes of data. So they're giving me 8 more gigs, and less, $10 less. So, you know, it's amazing how, you know, just asking certain questions and not stressing about things that are out of my control. I can't control Telstra coming and setting up because it's a new house. They've actually got to set up the line and, you know, who knows how long that's going to take. But I've just been able to work within my limits and, again, ask for help where I need to ask help. So like the tutorial bundle, I've asked one of the girls in the design team, like in the bundle team, to actually help me out because I don't have enough data to be able to do it. And that's hard for me because I'm used to being in control and I'm used to just doing things in my timeline. But it's been really good for me to learn that I can rely on other people. Louise has helped me immensely with Global Design Project and helped me out when I needed it. So yeah, it's a really good thing to learn, you know, who have you got to rely on to help you when things get a little bit much. You know, can you ask your hubby, well, I really want to do a blog post today, but it may mean you taking care of the kids for an hour or so until I get my blog post done. You know, I want to create today, or I want to do something today for my business, and, you know, take it seriously. Say, I've got this booked in. Like I said to Bruno before, I've got my video this morning. I should be done by this time. You know, he's on holidays at the moment, but he knows that I'm working, and he's assisting me in that because he knows that it's something that we both take seriously. He knows that celebration's starting tomorrow, and he knows what work is involved and what I need to get done in a day. You know, show him my diary. This is what I'd like to get accomplished today. Yeah, it's very hard to let go and ask. Yeah, I think it's a childhood thing. Bruno and I were talking about it one day because, you know, if I asked mum and dad, they'd sort of get a bit cranky at me, and I'm like, fine, I'll just do it myself. And it's not a good thing to be that way. So yeah, Bruno and I have got good communication like that. Like yesterday, I'm like, can you please go to the post office for me? I've got, you know, I've still got things to do, but these need to get into the post box. And so he's like, yep, sure, no problem, I'll go. So it's, you know, it's a really good, and then when you have that teamwork, you've worked together. And, you know, it wasn't always like that, Martha. He is a great hubby, but it wasn't always like that because, you know, he just felt like it was, you know, a big waste of time. There wasn't income coming in. He couldn't see how this could actually become a legitimate business. And it is hard at the beginning, but it's just sitting down and talking about where it could go and where you want it to go. And that you need to say, I really need your support in this to be able to make it something that I want to make it. You know, would you like a free trip to Alaska? You know, are they really going to say no to that? You know, they may not believe that it could happen, but if you break it down and you show them how that could be done and what needs to be done for the family, you know, I'm sure they'd be a lot more willing to help rather than you struggle alone. And by the time you get the trip, you're about to have a nervous breakdown. It's not good for anyone. So yeah, really looking after yourself emotionally and physically. You know, during the process, I've absolutely dropped the bundle on weight. Oh my goodness, we've both put on so much weight. But, you know, that's pretty normal when you're eating pizza every day for lunch and eating on the fly. So, you know, that'll be our next little job to make sure that we lose a little bit of weight for our health and just feeling better, especially going to Thailand. Oh my goodness, that's good motivation to lose some weight. We're going to be swimming in July, so I need to lose a fair amount of weight before July. But look, even if I can just feel good, I think just taking a little bit of weight off and doing more walks and getting to know the area will be really good. Yes, the walking regime begins again. It's just this time of year, isn't it? It's like we just gorge. So much wine too. The wine's the worst. I end up eating so much more too. So yeah, so little things like that. One thing that I have done that's really helped me is just doing the online shopping. I don't know if anyone uses it, but it's been my savior. It literally gets delivered to my house. I order it online, and the quality of the fruit and veg are brilliant, and I actually save a lot of money by doing it that way, because then I'm not grabbing, you know, silly little things. Oh yes, you're on your diets tomorrow, Jessica. We're all preparing. Yeah, even if we just lose a little bit each week rather than gaining each week, that would be a really good thing. Because it's like, oh, these clothes are getting a bit too tight. So yeah, so we'd like to just lose a little bit. And, you know, it's all about balance, isn't it? There's so many different areas in our life that we're trying to balance and trying to keep on top of. And that can be where we get undone. But if we have, you know, really good diaries, really good systems in place, like even in my planner, it says, you know, what are you having for dinner? So little things like that, just by planning ahead, it can make a huge difference. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. So yeah, I find the weekly shops that I do online are really great for me, because it does stick me to a certain food that we buy. I can't impulse buy as much. If I get junk food, then it's like an actual decision I have made to add that chocolate bar in there. So yeah, it's very, very different to sort of going to the shops and just, you know, grabbing it and putting it in the trolley. So I highly recommend that. That's helped me a lot, and it saves a huge amount of time. Gets delivered to the door, and then we have food for the week. And I think it's a really small thing, but it's a big thing for my business and for our family in eating well and saving money too. Oh, you got your first delivery, Sarah. That's cool. Yeah, it's really amazing. I can't believe the difference it's made in my week time-wise, and, you know, even stress-wise. It's stressful going to the shops, and you spend a few hours there and break your back and get in the car and then have to unpack it all. It's just one big traumatic experience. But by shopping online, it's a lot easier and a lot more efficient for me. But, you know, that's for me anyway, but everyone's different. So I think too, one of the other things that I'd learnt was also getting to know the area. So I went and met all the neighbours and just got familiar with people in the area. The only neighbours that we haven't met is at the front, but I think it was really nice sort of coming in and getting to know who else is in the area. It's just, you know, nice to be able to... Oh, Canada doesn't have it, Martha. Oh, that would be so good. You have to stalk and see if anyone does it. Our main grocery shopping centres do it here in Australia, so it's a really, really great option. Yeah, I don't know how parents do it with kids. Yeah, I find it hard with just Bruno and I. We're like really bad. Like we try not to go shopping together because we're our own worst enemies. Yeah, put it in the trolley. And you get to the front and you're like, what? How much money was that? That's for like 2 days food. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And that helped me also to get back into a better routine because, yeah, just had, you know, we had good food. We had vegetables, we had fruit, we had, you know, food that we were eating really badly the last few weeks before that. So it was just nice to have, you know, yogurt and cereal and just good food. So I think that definitely helps with your mental attitude and how you're feeling. So yeah, I think that's probably the main things that I sort of got out of, and you know, I'll probably bring up a few new things that I learnt along the way, but I think the best thing that I learned is just keep your momentum and try and get back into a routine as soon as possibly you can, like your new routine, and to constantly be working towards that new routine and give yourself certain deadlines. I think if you don't have a deadline, look, if I didn't say to myself, I need my craft room set up by celebration, I think it could have easily have got out of control and just been left, even the rest of the house. But we've pretty much unpacked everything. We just really pushed ourselves to keep going, even though all we wanted to do was sit on the couch. And, you know, now we can enjoy it because it is set up and it is in the place where we can live in it and enjoy it. So, you know, if you have a task, you know, you want to clean out your craft room, you can just set, you know, certain time to do those tasks, but then don't think that you have to drop the bundle. And especially with everyone being on holidays at the moment, I think a lot of saying kids are home and, you know, their husband's home, and it's all, the routine is very different at the moment for a lot of people. But don't lose your normal routine. Try and keep the routine that you're always used to and work around it and talk to the family, you know, find ways to maybe include the children in a task and, you know, blog about what they did, you know, have a craft day with the kids and blog about it. You know, you can blog about things that you do as a family. You might be going on a little excursion together, blog about it. You know, take pictures of the family and include them in your blog. It doesn't mean that you have to keep creating, but you can share your family experiences together and, you know, maybe even down the track, make a beautiful Project Life album. It's actually a very good question that you asked, Josie, how our fur babies are going. They're actually very good. We did straight away get another dog, my brother's dog. We're dog sitting at the moment. So they had the move and then they had a new dog come in. So it was a bit traumatic for them. and little Bella's been vomiting, the poor little thing. So we have to try and find a way to get her calmed down. I'm actually thinking of taking them for a walk this afternoon because I think that will help them to get to know the area and get them excited about, you know, what's around. But yes, they did get very stressed with it all, poor things. But I think they're settling in slowly. Bella's still not quite right, but Jasper's, he's boss. He's you know, making sure he's on security alert. But they're sleeping, and so that's good. They're not annoying us. But yeah, just little Bella with her tummy. So I think she's a bit anxious maybe. So we've got some little drops for that. We'll give her some bark remedies or something, rescue remedy. Yeah. So yeah, they'll get there though. I mean, it's the same with us. They probably just can feel us feeling anxious and, you know, moving a lot. But yeah, they'll definitely get there. The more we settle, then the more they'll probably settle then. Yeah, so I hope my little chat today helped you with some of the ideas. Like, obviously, you're not moving, but it helped me to... what is it? The picture behind you is very distracting. What picture behind... Oh, that one. That's Jessie. Jessie is my employee of the year. That's my Jessie. She's my assistant. And that's a Snapchat picture. And she wrote that she's the employee of the year. I kept it on there because I knew she'd love it today. I love my Jessie. I've given her a few weeks off holiday because I've got Bruno working for me instead at the moment. And then when she comes back, I said, there may be a few extra shifts during celebration. Yeah, it's very hard, isn't it? I should go like that. Sorry, Jessie. You've been blocked out. She'll probably end up moving now. Thank you for that advice there. So, yes, I hope that's helped you with different tips and tricks and ideas and, yeah, just sort of understanding that it's just important, even if you're feeling out of whack, just keep going. You know, you look at a normal job and a regular job when you go to work, there's some days you do not feel like going to work. And it's the same with Stampin' Up. I don't wake up every day and go, yeah, I love Stampin' Up every day. No, it's not like that. There's some days I don't want to create. It's the last thing I want to do is create. But you do it because you've either committed to a blog hop or you've committed to a design team. Yes, there is, Alan. Yes, I've made room for Bruno. I'm just going to move over here a little bit to block Jessie's head. So, yes, there's room for both of us. But, yes, so I think it's just keeping moving forward despite a change of circumstance, but find something that works in your circumstance. Just be a little bit creative in what you do so that it works for you and your family. Don't think that just because your family's home, that's it. Drop the bundle for weeks on end. It's just not good for you, your business, or your customers. So find a way around it. You know, find a way to work within the family. It may mean sacrificing and getting up early in the morning before the family gets up. It may mean staying up late, but the sacrifice will be worth it because you're staying in contact and you're going to reap those rewards later on for making that sacrifice. Nothing will happen on its own. You will not get recruits out of nowhere unless you do some marketing or do some blogging or do something to get those customers. You just have to keep going despite not feeling like you want to. So that's really important, even when you're feeling really down. And sometimes the distraction is good. You know, if you're feeling, a bit blur, sometimes by creating, I actually feel really good afterwards. And even though I didn't feel like doing it, I'm like, I'm really happy I made those cards. Or you can think of a friend or someone that's in need. And I think that sometimes, like we look at Shannon and what happened to her with her heart attack, it's just crazy. And sometimes making a card for someone who's been through something like that actually minimizes what you think is a difficult situation. I know you're dealing with moving, but this is also great advice for people dealing with mental illness. That's very true. Very true, Martha. Yeah, I think it does get us out of that hole. And because, moving can be that stressful that, just feeling unsettled and, you know, not in a good place, you know, can easily suck you into a big hole if you don't view it the right way. Yeah, I think a lot of us create for that. But it can be very difficult when you have it as a business, because creativity can become a business, and you lose that joy sometimes when it's like, oh, I've got to create a blog post and I have to make a card, or I have to make a project, and it can lose that emotional connection. And so it's just trying to find a way to still have that emotional connection to your creativity, but know that you have a job to do as well, and that you've got deadlines, and you know, you've committed to certain things. So yeah, it somehow all gets done because I have it written in my diary, but just keep going even when you don't feel like it, and it will pay off in the end. So thank you for joining me today, and if you have any other questions, please let me know. You can ask questions, and I'll try and find a hashtag that we can use, so that if I look for your questions, you know, make sure you let your team know that I'm here. I'll put a link up for my demonstrator training newsletter, so that if people miss the videos, then I can email through the video and let people know. And also, oh yeah, sure. Actually, Linda, if you go to my, oh no, actually it's better now. I will do a scan on this one. I scan around my craft room, because before I did a scan, there was stuff everywhere. It was like craziness. But yeah, please let your team know. And also I'll put up, yeah, with the newsletter, I also do highlights, international highlights, and they're proving to be really popular, and they're going to be every month. So it's just a nice way to everyone be part of a gallery and share all their creativity. So I'll just quickly flip you around and I'll show you what I've done here in the room. I've got a section here right in front of me. So this is my desk. So I'll just move back so that you can see, like, as you walk in. So that is the size of my room. It's not a big room. So I've had to utilize what space I've got, and eventually I'll get some custom made desks. At the moment, these are just temporary ones. So I want to find a corner desk that I can have permanent, and maybe have some drawers and things, and yeah, it could be very exciting. So that's still a work in progress. But this section here is going to be my business section. And so this is my business trolley with all my, you know, business cards and stamps and things like that. Diaries, my catalogs, things like that. Camera, it's all going to be here. So that's that section. And then I'm going to have my creating section. I've got my stand here for when I'm talking to you guys, which is really cool to have that there. So this needs a little bit of work, especially with these pens. I don't know what to do with pens. Oh my goodness, I threw out so many too in the move. But this is going to be the creating section. This is just for a computer for my labels. So that's just for when Jessie comes. If she needs to look up things, we've got a computer for her as well. And so at the moment it's at the back, sort of sitting there, because I don't use it all the time. Then I have like the big shot section, and normally this isn't here, but what I realized yesterday is I had this set up as the big shot and the trimmer section, but yesterday I was like wanting to do my marker club and post out my shares, paper shares, and I actually ended up on the floor. So I realized I needed sort of a more desk space for me to be able to pack up the markers and do the paper shares and things like that, because, you know, I don't want to be sitting on the floor. I'm getting too old to be doing that. I'm almost 40. I can't be sitting on the floor. I need to exercise more to be able to get up, okay? And then this trolley is for creating, so that's a craft one. So I'll bring that over when I'm creating, and that has all my blocks, and, you know, I keep my black ink out and that sort of thing. So Bruno was saying yesterday, we'll probably move, these are my sponge daubers here. We'll probably move them out and put something, one of the boxes in there, something different. I actually don't hold classes at all, Kristen, so that makes it a little bit easier. Yes, I definitely need an IKEA trip. 40 is not old. I'm feeling old at the moment. I just need to get fit, that's all. So we've got the printer. So now, because we don't have Wi-Fi, we were just trying to work out how to how to get some printing done. It's amazing how much we rely on Wi-Fi. See, here's Jessie. She's a happy little Vegemite. A lot of you wouldn't know what a happy little Vegemite is, but in Australia, we're happy little Vegemites. Oh, Diane, I don't want to get to 70. So here's all my paper. And I've still got to work out what's going to happen up here. But, you know, for now, I don't really like this being here. But anyway, we'll work out where that's going to end up. So a few things might have to change, of course, as I mentioned. And then I just have all my storage and new projects that I've made. Down the bottom here, this is still temporary because I've actually got 4 more stamp holders coming. So pretty much this row here is going to move down, and then I'm going to have more stamp space because I've got all these brand new stamps here. So that's excited. Clear mount stamps, no, there's a few. I accidentally order, every now and then I order a wood mount stamp by accident. So I just do all online, Kristen. It's all through Facebook Live and Facebook videos. So I kind of do classes, but I like do. Yes, I do classes, but online. So it's a little bit different for me. I did start off with classes in person. That's how I start. I think it's really good to start your business that way. But then eventually it built up and was able to get online. So, how I have them stored. Are your clear mount stamps double layered? I don't think I understand the question. I'm sorry, Linda. I'm a bit dumb today. I probably need another coffee. It's probably lunchtime. Does that help you? I just basically have them in alphabetical order. Oh, she means behind. Okay, thank you, Rose. No, there's actually an insert. I'll just pull it out to the point. Hopefully I don't drop it. But the insert actually stops at the point where, there we go, where it's just one case. Yes, so it's just one holder. So there's a back. You can see the back. Yeah. So if I push against it, you can't go further. So I like that. I like being able to use that storage like that. And the dots, so the dots are annual catalogue that are new in the annual catalogue. Yes, Colecraft did these. Yes, he's the bomb. And the yellow ones are the holiday catalogue. So it's going to be really good come, you know, now that it's retired time, I'll just pull out the ones that are retiring. But I will know that that's come from the holiday catalogue, and then I can just, you know, change the dots if I need to. But it's just good for looking. So I've got a whole, these are all my occasions catalogue and celebration here. And so I'll have different dots for celebration and occasions. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, we've got blue dots already. So I think the blue dots, I'll have to change them. But I will do blue dot for occasions and then a different colour for celebration. So that's that one. And then over here I've got some storage in the cupboard. So this will change again. Like I've done a little shelving in here. I did end up doing the shelving. But yeah, that will probably change so that I can get some sort of IKEA shelving that utilises that entire space and is exactly that space so that I'm not having to go around the door. Because I still have some clothes in here, but very minimal. They're the clothes that don't fit me at the moment. It's just a small amount that I couldn't get rid of. I was like, I love them too much. So I'm hoping to fit into them so that they don't have to stay there. But I really like those clothes, and they're just too tight at the moment, so they've gone in this wardrobe. But yeah, it'd be great to have a little bit more storage there, and yeah, it's good. So yeah, that's pretty much the room. So it's very user friendly for me, and that's my view, is seeing the washing outside. Bruno does most of our washing. He's very good. So yeah, so it's still a work in progress, as I said, but yeah, it's definitely a lot better. And, you know, I'm able to work here and then slowly tweak things as the week goes by. I'm not going to get too particular at being perfect because it'll just stress me out. Yeah, the white containers are from IKEA. That's right, Tina. Yeah, I'm happy with what it is so far, but, you know, I'll do little changes like, you know, in this I'll probably have, you know, some prints on the wall and, you know, get some photos or that will, you know, make it more